Welcome to our next lesson. We're going to work on solving equations by adding or subtracting. These are all one-step equations. This should be a review for you. Basically, to solve an addition or subtraction equation, we do the opposite operation. So let's just go ahead and jump down to the problems. So it says to solve each equation and graph the solution of each equation on the number line. So let's look at number 1. We have x plus 5 is equal to 2. So when we're solving this, we're going to subtract 5 on each side. When I do that, I end up with x equals negative 3. So the solution is going to be x equals negative 3. Now, we actually have a slight problem here on our number line. The negative signs fell off, so to speak. They did not show up. So I'm going to include those negative symbols right there before I graph it. And I'm going to go ahead and now graph the solution. So if my solution is x equals negative 3, I'm going to find negative 3. And I'm going to put that closed circle. And that's it. That is the solution for number 1. That's how you would graph that. Let's look at problem 2. For number 2, before I go any further, I'm actually going to rewrite that equation up here so that I can work with it better. So 11 plus w is equal to 10. When I solve this, I'm going to have to subtract 11 on both sides. 10 minus 11 is negative 1. So I end up with w is equal to negative 1. Now, again, when I'm looking at this one, I'll slide that over just a smidgen. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to, my number line on this one is also not showing up properly. So I'm going to include those negative symbols where they belong. And then if I graph w equals negative 1, I'm going to find negative 1. And then I'm going to put a shaded circle. It's really important that that circle is closed in. Otherwise, it would mean something different. Okay, let's look at number 3. Okay, and I'm going to rewrite that equation also up here. So k plus 3 equals negative 1. To solve this, I'd have to subtract 3 on both sides. Now, it might look a little bit confusing, but that says negative 1 minus 3. Negative 1 minus 3. Remember that that is the same as negative 1 plus negative 3. So that would be negative 4. Again, I need to add in my negative symbols here, negative signs. And I'm going to find negative 4 and shade that. And I actually forgot to highlight those answers. So I'm going to go back and do that. Okay, let's come over here, and I want to look at number 4, and then we'll do some on our own, or I'll let you do some on your own. So I've got m minus 2 is equal to 3. Now for this one, and you're going to add 2 on each side. So 3 plus 2 makes 5. Okay, all of these problems, it looks like the number lines, those negatives didn't show up for any of them. So we're going to have to probably do that for every problem. All right, shade that 5, and I do need to highlight m equals 5. Before we go any further, I want you to go through each of these number lines and make sure you include those negative symbols. Where they belong. Okay, I think I did it everywhere. All right, I want you to go ahead and complete 5 through 12 on your own. So pause this video and do that. And then when you are finished, you can unpause the video and check your solutions. Okay, so now that you've had an opportunity to try out these problems, make sure you go back and you check your answers. And then if you're good, then you can move on to the independent practice. Make sure that you upload this assignment so that way I get a copy of it. Otherwise, you will not be able to complete the independent practice until you've done that. And then after the independent practice, you'll be able to move on to your mastery check. Good luck.